Okay, next. In fact, I'm going to invite up right now Mark, if you would. The presentation and proclamation is A Year Without War, 2020, A Year Without War. And Mark, you've been here quite a few times and persevered, and your tenacity is terrific.
The reason I'm back is because you treat me so very warmly, so very well.
Well, you're always welcome.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you, Mayor Stein and Vice Mayor Carty and Councilman Shaw and Nomura. And I especially want to thank the hard work and the effort of staff, Fidela Garcia, who has been very patient with all of my emails and all of my corrections and modifications, and also Kevin, who has been very, very helpful in getting all this on the agenda. And I guess, really, you've heard enough from me, so I brought with me tonight the founding, visionary founder of 2020, A Year Without War, Professor Joseph White, and also a student coordinator who's organizing all of the strategic planning of A Year Without War 2020, and that's Melisa Johnston. We also see in the audience the distinguished member of the steering committee, Dennis Gagnon, and his wife, Luella Engelhardt. She's here. And I think also Professor, yes, I see him over there, Professor Jonathan Leach from Westbound College, a longtime resident here of Carpinteria. I think he and his wife have lived here many, many years. So my job is really simple. I want to thank you for putting this on the agenda, and just to mention very briefly, to preface what they will say, is our purpose here is to thank you for taking the courage to consider 2020, A Year Without War. There's a very, how shall I say, there's a very not so well-known play by George Bernard Shaw. And many of you have heard these lines before. They come from a play by Shaw. And I think that perhaps 2020, A Year Without War is part of what is entailed by these lines. It's the spirit of it. And the lines go something like this. I'm sure you've heard it before. Some people see the way the world is and they ask, why? Others see the way the world can be and ask, why not? And that's what 2020, A Year Without War is. And if you go ahead and pass this proclamation motion, which is before the council tonight, you will be taking a step and saying to the world, why not? It sounds impossible, but why not? And if we don't do it, who will? If this isn't the time, then when is the time? And so I'd like to introduce the visionary founder of 2020, A Year Without War, a person known up and down the Central Coast as being a professor of philosophy and chair of philosophy at Santa Barbara City College, Professor Joseph White.
All right.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, members of the council, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. As Mark mentioned, I'm the chair of the Department of Philosophy at Santa Barbara City College, and quite succinctly, we came up with an idea a couple years ago that for the first time in our history as human beings, we have the technology to build a global community, and a global community that perhaps could hit a social tipping point. Social science, sometimes those tipping points are 10%, which a minority changes a majority process. And so we've set out to build a community of 800 million people, and bringing in all the governments that we can get involved, the United Nations, all the major churches and major NGOs, and you play an absolutely critical role in this first step. We've been up about 26 months. We have the city of Lompoc's passed a proclamation. We have Janet Wolf, who's given us a certificate of excellence 2 weeks ago. We have the First Congregation Church in Santa Barbara and 2 other churches that have come on board. And so we're starting to build out. You're playing a critical role in this. We'll meet with Mayor Schneider on Wednesday to talk about Santa Barbara. We have every hope of being in Sacramento by the fall and maybe Washington by next winter. So we are trying to build a community with a consensus that all of us together, the majority, would like to see the $2 trillion or so every year spent on planet Earth redirected toward a peace dividend, a phrase that was coined by George H.W. Bush and Margaret Thatcher in the early 1990s. So again, I'm deeply grateful for your stepping up at this early step. We're trying to build this from the grassroots, and I think you give us a kind of bookend with the city of Lompoc, and hopefully we will have all the other cities in Santa Barbara County on board shortly. So Thank you so much. Please visit our website. You can call me, contact me if you have any specific questions, but we are just most grateful. So thank you.